She demolished their marriage with just one fatal lie. What would you do if you walked in on this? Hit like if you've ever been betrayed, and comment below where you're watching from. The scream echoed down the marble hallway of a Lekki Phase 1 duplex. Turned. Who is she? Adi stood frozen in the doorway, the evening light spilling through the curtains, catching the shimmer of her gold girlie as her trembling hand clutched her phone. On the bed she had shared with her husband for 11 years was the unthinkable, her husband, Ton Adebayo, half-dressed, tangled in sheets with her closest friend, Lara. Lara scrambled to grab her wrapper, stammering, "Ada, it's not what it looks like. Not what it looks like." Adi snapped, her voice breaking. "I trusted you. You've been in my house, eating my food, hugging my children." Ton rose slowly, his broad chest heaving. "Adis, calm down. We can talk about this like adults." "Adults," she laughed bitterly. "You humiliate me in my own home, and you want me to become." The neighbors could already be heard murmuring outside. In Lagos, privacy was a luxury. Someone had likely started recording the whispers of infidelity in marriage, cheating spouse, and domestic betrayal spreading faster than wildfire. Adis turned her phone toward them, filming. "Let's see how calm you'll be when the world knows the truth." Ton's expression hardened. "Adis, don't you dare." "Oh, I dare," she hissed. Her thumb hovered over the upload button. Her heart pounded like thunder. But before she could post the video, Laura lunged forward, snatching the phone. It slipped from her grip, hit the floor, and the screen cracked in two. The sound jolted everyone. Silence fell. Ton rubbed his temples. "You've gone too far, Adis. You destroy our family." She looked at him through tears. "No, Ton. You already did." He grabbed his shirt and stormed out of the bedroom, slamming the door so hard the frame rattled. Laura gathered her things, shame flickering across her face. "I never meant for this to happen," Laura whispered, avoiding eye contact. "Then why did you do it?" Adi's voice softened, breaking into a sob. "You knew everything I confided in you, my fears, my love for him." Lara didn't answer. She only muttered, "You regret posting that video," and hurried out, leaving Adis in the thick silence of betrayal. Adis sank to the floor, her chest tightening. Her children, Moyo and Polumi, 8 and 10, were asleep in their rooms, unaware that their world was crumbling. That night, Adis sat in the living room, scrolling through her photos, deleting every memory of her marriage. Ton's laughter, their vacations, anniversaries, all of it felt like lies. Her sister, Ngozi, called after seeing a viral post already making rounds on social media. Someone from the compound had recorded everything. "Adis, I just saw something online. Tell me it's not true." Adis' voice trembled. "It's true. He was cheating with Laura." Ngozi sighed heavily. "Oh, my God. Adis, you need to think carefully. The internet never forgets. This will become a public disgrace." But Adis wasn't listening. Her eyes were locked on her husband's contact photo. For the first time, she didn't feel pain, she felt rage. By morning, the video had reached over 20,000 views. Comments flooded in, some sympathizing, others mocking. The headline on a local gossip blog read, "Businessman Ton Adebayo caught cheating with wife's best friend, exclusive footage." Ton's office called repeatedly, demanding explanations. His company image was on the line. By noon, he walked back into the house, dark shades hiding his shame. "You've destroyed me, Adis," he said coldly. "But mark my words, you'll pay for this humiliation." Adis stared at him with tired eyes. "No, Ton. You'll pay for betraying me." He turned to leave again but paused at the door. "You have no idea what you've started." As his car engine roared and faded down the street, Adi's phone buzzed, a message from an unknown number. If you want to ruin Ton completely, call me. I know things about him you don't. She froze, her heart pounding. Who was this? Was it a trap or an opportunity for revenge? The message came again. Don't trust anyone. Especially Lara. Adi's breath caught in her throat. A new wave of fear and curiosity rushed over her. The morning sun crept through the blinds, but Adis felt none of its warmth. Her head throbbed from crying through the night. The living room was littered with tissues, her phone, and a half-drunk glass of water. The silence after the storm was deafening. She picked up her phone again, staring at the message from the unknown number. If you want to ruin Ton completely, call me. Don't trust anyone. Especially Lara. She hesitated. Who could it be? Someone from Ton's office. A bitter ex-lover. Or maybe one of Lara's enemies. Her sister, Ngozi, arrived unexpectedly, still dressed in her bank uniform. Adis, I told you to keep this quiet, she said, dropping her bag. Now your husband's name is everywhere, blogs, Facebook, even WhatsApp statuses. Adis rubbed her temples. He deserves it, Ngozi. After everything I gave him, after all the sacrifices. Ngozi sighed and sat beside her. Yes, he was wrong. But public disgrace. That kind of thing scars everyone involved. Think of Moyo and Polumi. Adis's voice cracked. Do you know what it feels like to see your best friend in your bed with your husband? Ngozi took her hand gently. I know, sis. I know. But you must not let anger guide you. Lagos people love drama. By next week, they'll move on. But Adis wasn't so sure. The humiliation was still trending. Her phone pinged again, Instagram notifications, gossip pages tagging her. Wife of Lekki businessman speaks out, Ngozi read aloud from her own phone. These bloggers don't rest. Adis looked up, her eyes fierce. They've made me a fool in front of the whole city. I won't let Ton or Laura get away with it. Just then, her phone vibrated again, the same unknown number. Unknown caller. Ngozi frowned. Don't pick that call, Adis. It could be one of those scammers trying to use your situation. But Adis' curiosity overpowered her fear. She swiped to answer. Hello. A low female voice spoke. Mrs. Adebayo. I'm sorry for what happened. You don't know me, but I used to work for your husband. Adis stiffened. Who is this? My name is Kemi. I was Ton's assistant until he fired me last month. Why are you calling me? Adis asked cautiously. Because you deserve to know who your husband really is, Kemi said. He didn't just cheat with Lara. There's more. Financial fraud. Hidden accounts. Even secret real estate in another woman's name. Adis' pulse raced. Another woman. Yes, Kemi continued. A woman named Sod. She's been with him for years. He's planning to marry her once he divorces you. I can prove it. Ngozi shook her head, mouthing, don't believe her. But Adis' instinct screamed otherwise. If this is true, Adis said, why are you telling me? Because he destroyed my life too, Kemi said. He made me sign papers under false pretenses. If I go down, I want him to go down with me. Meet me at the Palms Mall, Victoria Island, tomorrow at noon. I'll bring evidence. The line clicked dead before Adis could respond. Ngozi exhaled sharply. This is dangerous. You can't meet a stranger like that. What if it's a setup? Adis looked out the window, the Lagos traffic already buzzing outside. Ngozi, I need to know the truth. If Ton was planning to replace me, then I need to strike first. Ngozi stood, crossing her arms. Revenge won't heal your heart, Adis. But Adiz was no longer listening. The fire inside her heart found direction. That night, she couldn't sleep. The city outside hummed with nightlife, car horns, faint Afrobeats from a nearby bar, the distant call of a suyo seller. She scrolled through old photos again, trying to find clues. Then she saw something odd. In one of Ton's business trip photos from Dubai, there was a woman in the reflection of the hotel mirror, tall, elegant, unfamiliar. Could that be Sod? Her hands trembled as she zoomed in. There was a bracelet on the woman's wrist, the same one Ton had given her years ago for their anniversary. He had said it was one of a kind. Her heart broke anew. By morning, Adiz dressed simply in jeans and a plain top. She told Ngozi she was going to the market, but instead, she headed for the Palms Mall. The crowd was thick with Saturday shoppers. She scanned every corner until a slim woman in sunglasses waved from the cafe near the fountain. Kemi. The woman nodded, removing her glasses. Yes. Sit down. We don't have much time. From her bag, Kemi pulled out a flash drive and several printed documents, property deeds, bank transfers, and photos. These, she said, sliding them across the table, are Ton's secrets. Adiz stared at the papers in disbelief. He bought land in Ikoyi, in another woman's name. Yes, Kemi said. And that's not all. He's been moving money offshore using his company accounts. Fraud, Mrs. Adebayo. Serious fraud. Adiz's voice dropped to a whisper. If I report this, he could lose everything. Kemi smiled thinly. Exactly. Isn't that what you want? Adiz hesitated. For a moment, she saw her reflection in the glass wall beside them, a woman torn between pain and power. Before she could respond, Kemi leaned closer. But there's one more thing. Lara isn't who you think she's either. Adiz blinked. What do you mean? Kemi lowered her voice. She's not just his mistress. She's part of the fraud too. Adiz gasped, her heart pounding. You're lying. I can prove it, Kemi said. But you have to trust me. Just then, a black SUV screeched to a stop outside the cafe. Two men in suits stepped out, scanning the area. Kemi froze. We've been followed, she whispered. They're Ton's men. Run. Adiz's chair fell backward as she bolted for the exit, clutching the flash drive. Shouts echoed behind her as she disappeared into the crowded parking lot. Her phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number. Now you know too much. Be careful who you trust. Rain poured over Lagos that night like the sky itself was weeping. Adiz sat in her car on a quiet street in Suraleh, the flash drive clenched in her hand. Every beat of thunder echoed her heart, a mix of fear and fury. She replayed the scene at the Palms Mall in her mind. Kemi's panic. The men in suits. The warning text. Nothing made sense anymore. Her phone rang again. This time, it was Lara. She let it ring twice before answering. Adiz, Lara's voice was low, shaky. We need to talk. Adiz gripped the steering wheel. After everything you did, you have the nerve to call me. Please. It's not what you think. I swear, Lara pleaded. Can we meet? Tomorrow, at the cafe near Alan Junction. It's important. Adiz's lips curled into a cold smile. You mean the same way it wasn't what I thought when you were in my husband's bed? Adiz, listen to me, Lara insisted. There are things you don't know about Tond. About me. Please. Adiz hung up. But her mind kept spinning. Everyone seemed to have things she didn't know. That night, she opened her laptop and plugged in the flash drive. Dozens of files appeared, property deeds, secret bank accounts, emails between Tond and someone named Sod Ventures. But one folder caught her eye. It was labeled Project L. Inside were chat screenshots between Ton and Lara. Her breath caught as she read. Ton, she's getting suspicious. Keep her close until the transfer clears. Lara, I've done my part. But she's starting to doubt me. Ton, you'll get your share. Just make sure Adis doesn't see the papers. Adis' vision blurred with rage. Her best friend wasn't just sleeping with her husband, she had helped him steal from her. The betrayal felt like acid burning through her veins. But then, she noticed one last message in the chat. Lara, you promised to leave her for me. If you go back on that, I swear I'll expose everything. Adis leaned back in her chair, her heart pounding. So even she was being played, she whispered. Her mind raced. Everyone was betraying everyone, and she was caught in the middle. By morning, she dressed sharply, wearing a simple Ankara blouse and jeans. Her face was calm, but her eyes were fire. She drove to Allen Junction and found Lara already waiting, sunglasses hiding her face. When Lara saw her, she stood quickly. Adis, I'm so sorry. Don't waste my time, Adis cut in. I know about Project L. You were helping Ton steal from me. Lara froze. What? No. You've got it wrong. I read the messages, Lara. Adis snapped. You lied to me, slept with my husband, and now you're saying I'm wrong. Tears welled in Lara's eyes. Yes, I made a terrible mistake. But Adis, Ton played me too. He told me he was divorcing you, that you'd been cheating. I was stupid enough to believe him. Adis laughed bitterly. You believe that? You think I don't know you wanted my life, my home, my family, my peace? Lara's voice trembled. He promised to marry me. Then he started avoiding me. When I found out he was planning to marry another woman, I confronted him. He said if I talked, he'd ruin me. Adis' fury paused. Wait. He told you about Sod too? Yes, Lara whispered. He said she was the only one who knew how to handle his business. Whatever that means. Adis frowned. You expect me to feel sorry for you? No, Lara said quietly. But I can help you destroy him. Adis' eyes narrowed. Why would I trust you? Because I have something you don't, Lara said, pulling an envelope from her purse. Proof that Ton forged your signature to transfer one of your joint properties to his company. Adis snatched the papers and skimmed through them. Her own name, forged, stared back at her. He forged my name, she gasped. Lara nodded. You can use this to ruin him. Legally. For a moment, Adis was silent. Her rage slowly transformed into resolve. She could expose him for fraud, strip him of everything, and watch him crumble under his own lies. But just as she began to thank Laura, her phone buzzed again. It was a text from Kemi. Don't trust Laura. She's playing both sides. She already told Ton about you meeting me. Adis' blood ran cold. She looked up at Laura, who was suddenly nervous, fidgeting with her phone. Who are you texting? Adis demanded. No one, Lara said quickly. Adis snatched the phone from her hand and froze. A message draft was open, half-typed. She believed everything. Meet me at. Before Adis could read the rest, Lara grabbed for it. Adis, please. Adis stood abruptly, her chair scraping the floor. You haven't changed. You're still lying. People were beginning to stare from nearby tables. Lara's face flushed. Adis, it's not what it looks like. Oh, I've heard that line before, Adis said coldly. Tell Ton I'm coming for him, and for anyone who stands with him. She turned and walked out into the rain, her heart pounding. Inside her car, she opened the envelope again and took a deep breath. The evidence was solid. But now, she didn't know who was truly on her side. Then her phone buzzed again, another message from Kemi. If you want to finish this, meet me tonight. Come alone. 9 p.m. at the old Marina Pier. Adi's reflection in the mirror looked nothing like the woman who had once believed in love and loyalty. Now, she was someone else entirely. The night air was heavy with moisture as Adi parked near the old Marina Pier. The faint smell of salt water mixed with the diesel fumes of boats resting in the shadows. Lagos Island glittered across the lagoon, distant, alive, unaware of the storm brewing in her heart. She glanced at her phone. 8:57 p.m. Kemi's last message echoed in her mind. Come alone. 9 p.m. at the old Marina Pier. Adi's instinct screamed that it was a trap. Yet curiosity and anger pulled her forward like an invisible hand. She needed answers. Wearing a long black jacket over her Ankara dress, she stepped out of the car and walked toward the wooden dock. The water below lapped softly, illuminated by the faint glow of streetlights. Kemi, she called, her voice trembling slightly. Are you here? A shadow moved near a boat. Then a woman stepped out, Kemi, dressed in dark jeans, her face tense. You came, Kemi said quietly. You said you had proof, Adis replied. I risked everything coming here. What's going on? Kemi glanced around nervously. We don't have much time. Townspeople are watching me. They know I've been talking to you. Adis folded her arms. You said Lara was part of the fraud. I saw their messages. You were right. But I need to know everything. Who is this Sod? Kemi hesitated. Sod isn't another woman. She's not a person. Adis frowned. What do you mean? Kemi pulled a folder from her bag. Sod Ventures is a shell company Ton created. He used it to hide money from the government and to move your joint assets into offshore accounts. If this ever comes to light, you'll be implicated too, because your name is on some of the documents. Adi's blood ran cold. What? Yes, Kemi said. He forged your signature, but legally, it looks like you're his partner. If he goes down for fraud, so will you. Adi stumbled back, her words spinning. He wouldn't do that to me. Kemi looked at her with pity. He already did. That's why I wanted to warn you. Adi's voice cracked. Then why meet here, in secret? Because I have the files that can clear your name and destroy him. But I need your help to get them out of his office. Adis hesitated. You're saying break into his office? Kemi nodded. Tomorrow night. He's leaving town for a business trip. If we act then, we can copy everything before he notices. Adi's heart pounded. And what do you get from this? Kemi's eyes flickered. Freedom. He framed me for one of the transactions. I've been hiding ever since. If you bring him down, I walk away clean. Before Adis could respond, the sound of approaching footsteps echoed across the dock. Kemi's face turned pale. Someone's coming, she whispered. From the shadows, two men emerged, tall, broad-shouldered, their eyes hidden under caps. Kemi grabbed Adis' arm. Run! They darted toward the car, the men shouting behind them. Adis' heels clattered against the wooden planks as she fumbled for her keys. One of the men reached for Kemi, but Adis swung her car door open, slamming it into him. Get in, she yelled. Kemi jumped into the passenger seat, and Adis sped off, tires screeching on the wet road. Behind them, headlights flashed, they were being followed. Who are they? Adis shouted. Ton's men, Kemi said breathlessly. He must have tracked my phone. Hold on. Adis veered into a narrow side street, the car bouncing over potholes. The headlights behind them grew smaller, then vanished. They parked under a bridge, both panting, drenched in sweat and fear. Adis turned to her. You said Ton would be gone tomorrow. Yes, Kemi nodded. He's flying to Abuja for a meeting. That's our chance. Adi's face hardened. Then tomorrow night, we finish this. As Kemi reached for the folder, Adi's noticed something glinting under her sleeve, a gold bracelet. The same type she'd seen in the reflection of Ton's Dubai photo. Her voice turned cold. Kemi, where did you get that bracelet? Kemi froze. This. Oh. Ton gave it to me for. You were the woman in that photo, Adi's interrupted. You were the one in Dubai. Kemi's face went blank. It's not what you think. Not what I think. Adi said, her voice rising. You said you were his assistant, but you were his lover too, weren't you? Kemi looked away. It started before he married you. He promised me things, and then he replaced me with you. Adi's heart twisted in shock. You've been lying this whole time. No, Kemi said quickly. I'm telling you the truth now. I hate him for what he did to both of us. I want him ruined. But Adi's no longer believed her. You used me to finish what you couldn't do yourself. Kemi's eyes glistened. You think this is about revenge? He'll destroy you if you don't act. I'm your only ally now. Adi shook her head, gripping the steering wheel. I don't need allies. I need justice. As she drove off, the rain started again, pounding against the windshield like warning drums. Kemi looked out the window silently, then whispered under her breath, almost too softly to hear, justice can look a lot like revenge. Adis didn't notice the faint red light blinking inside Kemi's bag, a recording device, still on. The next night, Lagos was draped in silence, the kind of silence that hums with secrets. The rain from the night before had left the street slick, reflecting neon lights from passing cars. Adi sat outside Adibio Holdings, her husband's company headquarters in Victoria Island. It was nearly midnight. The building loomed tall and glassy, a monument to everything she had built beside Tond, and everything he had taken from her. Beside her, Kemi adjusted her headscarf nervously. The night guard is usually asleep by now, she whispered. Once we get to the top floor, we'll find the safe. That's where he keeps the hard drives. Adis nodded. Her pulse raced. And those drives have the files that prove he forged my signature. Yes, Kemi said. And more. They slipped out of the car and crept toward the side entrance. Kemi produced a keycard, swiped it against the panel, and the door clicked open. How do you still have access? Adis asked. Kemi smiled faintly. Ton never revoked my credentials. He's careless when he's overconfident. The elevator ride felt eternal. When the doors opened, the office floor was dark except for the glow of security monitors. They moved silently past framed photos of Ton shaking hands with business executives, smiling proudly beside governors and ministers, the image of success. At his office door, Kemi knelt and picked the lock with surprising skill. Adis watched, both impressed and unnerved. You've done this before. I had to learn, Kemi replied. Men like Ton don't leave trails unless you make them. Inside, the office smelled of expensive cologne and deceit. Papers were stacked neatly on his mahogany desk, next to a family portrait, Adis, Ton, and the kids. She stared at it for a long second before turning away, her eyes burning. Let's make this quick, Kemi said, moving to a cabinet behind the desk. She slid open a drawer, revealing a small black safe. Adis' hands trembled as Kemi entered a code. The safe clicked open, revealing stacks of documents and several USB drives. Here, Kemi whispered. This is everything. But as Adis reached for the drives, something caught her eye, an envelope marked, confidential, personal. Her name was written in Ton's handwriting. She picked it up slowly. What's this? Kemi frowned. We don't have time. Adis tore it open. Inside was a DNA test result. Her hands shook as she read the lines. Father, Ton Adebayo, excluded. Child, Polumi Adebayo. Her breath caught. No, that's not possible. Kemi stepped closer, confused. What is it? Adi's voice broke. He's saying Polumi isn't his son. The room felt like it was spinning. Memories flooded back, Ton's growing coldness toward their son, his strange comments, his sudden outburst of anger. Could it be true? Kemi looked at her with a mix of shock and pity. Adis, maybe this was part of his plan. Maybe he forged that too, to discredit you. Adis' voice trembled. No, this can't be real. She stumbled backward, clutching the paper to her chest. He called me unfaithful, but I never. The sound of footsteps echoed from the hallway. Kemi froze. Someone's here. The door burst open, Ton stepped in, his face twisted with fury. I knew you'd come for me. Adis gasped. You set me up. I didn't have to, he said coldly, glancing at Kemi. She told me everything. Adis turned to Kemi, her heart sinking. No. Kemi looked down. I had no choice. He said he'd ruin me if I didn't cooperate. Ton stepped forward. You think you can destroy me, Adis? You already ruined my name online. Now you want to take my company. You forged my signature, she shouted. You betrayed our vows. He smacked. And you betrayed me long before that. What are you talking about? He tossed another paper onto the desk. You want the truth? Polumi isn't my child. I found out years ago. I just needed proof. Adis' voice cracked. You're lying. Ton's face hardened. Am I? Ask yourself who you were spending late nights with while I was building this company. Your precious business partner, Chike, remember. Tears streamed down her face. Chike was just a colleague. Kemi watched silently, guilt flickering across her face. Ton stepped closer, lowering his voice. You humiliated me, Adis. But I can forgive you, if you walk away quietly. No police, no scandal. Take your children, and leave Lagos. Adis stared at him, her rage igniting. You want me to disappear so you can rewrite history. He leaned closer. So I can protect what's mine. Her eyes flashed. You already took everything, but you'll never take my peace. As he turned to leave, Adis grabbed the USB drives and the DNA envelope. You may control the truth, Ton, she said coldly, but I'll control the story. He laughed darkly. Good luck with that. Suddenly, the office lights flickered, then went dark. A loud crash echoed through the hallway. Kemi screamed. What's happening? Ton looked toward the door. Security must have. But before he could finish, a figure appeared at the doorway, Laura. Her makeup was smudged, her face fierce. You all think you can play me. Tonight, everything ends. Adis' heart pounded. Laura, what are you doing here? Laura raised a small pistol, her hand trembling. I'm here to make sure no one betrays me again. The room went silent, the only sound was the hum of the city beyond the glass. The air in Ton's office was suffocating. The faint hum of the air conditioner mixed with the sound of heavy breathing. Lara's hand shook as she pointed the pistol between Adis and Ton. Lara, put that down, Ton said carefully, his palms raised. You're not thinking straight. Lara laughed, a sharp, bitter sound. Oh, I'm thinking clearer than I ever have. You used me, Ton. You promised me everything, a future, love, a child. And then you tossed me aside like trash. Adis' heart pounded. Lara, please, don't do this here. You don't want to ruin your life over him. Lara's eyes darted toward Adis, her expression twisting with hatred. You think you can talk me down? You ruined my life the moment you came back to Lagos. He was mine until you started sniffing around again. Kemi inched closer to Addis. She's lost it, she whispered. We need to move. Don't move. Laura screamed, cocking the gun. The echo of her voice rattled the glass walls. Ton took a slow step forward. Laura, listen to me. You're angry, I understand. But this isn't you. You don't want to make a mistake you can't undo. Stop pretending you care, she cried. I know about the fake contracts. The offshore accounts. The forged documents in Adi's name. You think I didn't see your emails? Ton's expression faltered for the first time. What did you say? You heard me, she spat. You think you're the only one who knows how to play this game. I made copies, Ton. Everything you did, I sent it to my lawyer. Adi's breath caught. Wait, you have evidence? Lara smacked, her eyes glassy with tears. Oh, I have everything. The fraud, the forged shares, the land deals, all of it. She looked at Addis. But the funniest part. You're still fighting for a man who's been lying to both of us. Addis stared at her, her voice trembling. What do you mean? Laura tilted her head, a twisted smile forming. Didn't he tell you? The DNA test wasn't about Polumi. It was about Tolu, your daughter. The words hit Addis like thunder. No, that's not true. Ton's jaw tightened. Lara, shut up. She turned the gun on him. Make me. Addis' knees felt weak. Ton, please tell me she's lying. He hesitated, just for a second. And in that silence, the truth screamed louder than words. Addis' face crumpled. You ran a DNA test on both of our children. Ton swallowed hard. I had to be sure. You gave me reasons to doubt you. Her voice broke. Reasons? After all I sacrificed for you. The room was spinning again, betrayal, humiliation, rage, all mixing into something volcanic. Kemi tried to step between them. Enough. Everyone needs to calm down. Lara laughed bitterly. No one's coming down tonight. Then she turned to Addis, her voice dropping. You want to know the real reason he turned you into a criminal? It wasn't just business. He wanted you destroyed, because I told him something. Addis looked up, confused. What? I told him you had an affair with Chike. That Polumi wasn't his. Addis froze. You told him that? Lara's lip quivered. Yes, and he believed me. Addis' voice shook with disbelief. But why? What did I ever do to you? Tears rolled down Lara's face. Because you had the life I wanted. The ring, the house, the children, everything. I just wanted to be seen, Addis. I just wanted to be loved. Addis' anger flared. So you destroyed my marriage with a lie? Lara screamed, it wasn't supposed to go this far. The gun wavered in her hand. Ton lunged forward, Lara, no. A deafening bang tore through the air. Kemi screamed. The glass behind Ton shattered, shards raining down. For a moment, no one moved. Then Ton fell to his knees, clutching his arm, blood seeping through his shirt. Addis gasped, backing away. Oh my God. Lara dropped the gun, staring in horror. I didn't mean to. Kemi snatched the weapon and kicked it aside. You've lost your mind, Lara. Ton groaned, slumping against the desk. Call an ambulance. But Addis stood frozen, the DNA paper still clutched in her hand. Everything inside her was unraveling. She looked at Laura, the woman who had whispered a lie that set this entire tragedy in motion. Then she looked at Ton, the man who believed it without question, who turned love into warfare. Her voice came out hollow. No one's calling anyone. Let the truth speak first. She bent down and picked up the flash drive from the desk, the one labeled confidential files. Lara sobbed. Please, Addis, I didn't mean for him to get hurt. Addis' eyes were cold. You meant for me to. She turned toward the door. I'm ending this, all of it. As she left, the building alarms blared. Security lights flashed red. Kemi followed her, shouting, Addis, wait. What are you doing? Addis didn't answer. She only said, if truth can destroy a marriage, maybe a lie can save a soul. The elevator doors closed, leaving behind the chaos, the blood, and the echo of Lara's fatal confession. The morning after the chaos was strangely quiet. Addis sat by the lagoon in Lekki, her reflection trembling on the water's surface as the sun rose over the skyline. The events of the night replayed in her mind, Lara's trembling hands, the gunshot, the shattered glass, Ton's bleeding arm. She should have felt guilt. But she didn't. Only resolve. Kemi arrived moments later, holding 2 cups of steaming pap from a roadside vendor. You didn't go home all night, did you? Addis shook her head. No. I couldn't face the kids. Not yet. Kemi handed her a cup. What now? The police will come asking questions. You can't just disappear. Addis smiled faintly. Who said I'm disappearing? I'm just getting started. She reached into her bag and pulled out the flash drive, the one she'd taken from Ton's office. Kemi frowned. What's on it? Everything, Addis said. Company fraud, tax evasion, illegal property deals, and proof that he forged my signature on multiple transactions. I've already opened it on my laptop. Kemi's eyes widened. You could ruin him completely. Addis looked out at the water. He ruined me first. Kemi hesitated. But going public could affect your kids too. You'll be dragging your whole family into scandal. Addis' voice was steady. He made me a criminal in front of them. Let them see who the real criminal is. By noon, social media was on fire. A trending post on X, Twitter, read. Breaking, businessman Ton Adebayo under investigation for fraud, fake contracts, and corporate theft. Leaked files from inside sources suggest evidence of tax manipulation and forged signatures. Within hours, online news outlets picked it up. Comments flooded in, shock, mockery, pity. Ton's carefully curated image, the successful husband, the philanthropist, the devoted father, crumbled before Lagos' digital eyes. At his hospital bed, he scrolled through his phone, jaw tightening with every headline. Ton Adebayo's empire built on lies. Exclusive, leaked documents suggest massive cover-up in Adebayo Holdings. He held the phone against the wall. Addis, he roared. Lara sat in a wheelchair nearby, her wrist bandaged, eyes swollen from crying. She's not the one who pulled the trigger, she said weakly. He turned to her, fury blazing. You did this. You and that lie you told me. Lara's voice broke. I never meant for this to happen. Save it, he snapped. You'll pay for every bit of this. Meanwhile, Addis visited her children at her mother's house in Suralia. Her mother, Mama Ifeoma, opened the door, worry written all over her face. Addis, what is this I'm hearing on the news? Police, shooting, scandals. Addis hugged her tightly. Mama, I'll explain everything later. I just need to see the kids. Polumi and Tolu ran into her arms. She held them close, fighting back tears. Everything will be fine, she whispered. Mommy's handling it. Mama Ifeoma crossed her arms. You look like your father when you talk like that, full of fire and pain. Addis sighed. Pain can be a teacher, Mama. Her mother studied her for a long moment. And revenge. Addis hesitated. Revenge can be a cure, if you dose it right. 2 days later, Ton called. Adiz, his voice rasped through the phone. You've made your point. The press is everywhere. Investors are pulling out. Do you want me in jail? Is that it? Adiz listened quietly. You wanted to destroy me. I only returned the favor. You're killing our children's future, he snapped. Think about Polumi and Tolu. She laughed bitterly. Oh, now you remember their names. You didn't think about them when you framed me, or when you let that woman spread lies about their paternity. He went silent. Then, in a quieter tone, he said, if you keep pushing, the truth about the shooting will come out. Do you really want your name tied to attempted murder? Adiz's eyes narrowed. You wouldn't dare. He smirked. I don't have to. The police already have CCTV footage of you at my office that night. Her stomach dropped. You want to play this game? He continued. Fine. But remember, I have more to lose, and that makes me dangerous. He hung up. Adiz sat frozen, her hand trembling. Kemi, sitting across from her, looked worried. What did he say? Adiz's voice was quiet but fierce. He's threatening me. But he doesn't know I have something stronger than the law, the truth. Kemi leaned in. Then we use it. Adiz's eyes glistened. No. Not yet. I want him to feel what I felt, the fear of losing everything. She turned on her laptop and opened a new document titled, The Lie That Broke Us. This, she whispered, is where his real punishment begins. 2 weeks later, an anonymous blog published a serialized confession titled, She Demolished Their Marriage with One Fatal Lie. It exposed Lara's deceit, Ton's crimes, and the truth about Adiz's innocence, written in a style that gripped the entire city. Everyone was talking about it. Even radio hosts debated it. Though no name was officially attached, everyone knew who wrote it. Ton's empire burned publicly, while Adiz's name began to clear. But as the story spread, a message appeared in her inbox. You think you've won. I'm coming for everything you love. Ton. Adiz stared at the message, her pulse quickening. The war was far from over. The day Ton struck back began like any other. Adiz had just dropped the kids off at school when her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She hesitated before answering. Mrs. Adebayo, a crisp male voice said. This is Inspector Baligan from the Lagos State Police Command. We'd like you to come in for questioning concerning the incident at Adebayo Holdings 2 weeks ago. Adiz's fingers went cold. Questioning? About what? An attempted murder case, he said flatly. Your presence is required today. Her heart raced. That's absurd. I wasn't. Madam, he cut in, failure to appear voluntarily may result in an arrest warrant. The call ended. For a moment, Adiz couldn't breathe. Kemi, sitting beside her in the car, stared in disbelief. Oh no. He actually did it. Adiz's voice trembled. He said he would ruin me, and he's doing it. The police station in Ikeja was bustling when they arrived. Adiz could feel eyes following her as she walked through the corridor, whispers, curious stares, pitying glances. Inspector Baligan, a tall man with a calm face and suspicious eyes, gestured toward a chair. Madam, we received a report from Mr. Ton Adebayo claiming you and one Mrs. Laura Ogundai broke into his office and were involved in a shooting. Adiz clenched her fist. That's not true. I went there to confront him about the forged documents. He framed me for crimes I didn't commit. Baligan flipped through a folder. We have CCTV footage showing you and another woman entering the building after hours. No forced entry. And a firearm was discharged. Mr. Adebayo claims you conspired with his former employee to harm him. Kemi stepped forward. That's a lie. Ton was the one hiding illegal documents. Lara brought the gun, she's the one who fired it. The inspector looked at them calmly. Then where is Mrs. Ogundipe now? Addis froze. Exactly, Baligan said. She's missing. No one has seen her since the night of the shooting. Addis' stomach dropped. Missing? What do you mean missing? She left the hospital 2 days later and disappeared, he said. If she doesn't turn up, this case becomes even more serious. Addis' voice cracked. You think I had something to do with that? Baligan closed the file slowly. Until we find her, we keep every possibility open. That night, Addis sat alone in her apartment. The air felt heavy, like the walls were closing in. Her phone buzzed again. A message. From Tond. You wanted war, Addis. Now you'll see what losing everything really feels like. A second message followed, the photo of their children, leaving school with a strange man. Addis' breath hitched. She dialed his number immediately. Tond, where are my children? He answered calmly. Relax. They're fine. I just picked them up for the weekend. You don't have custody, she shouted. He chuckled softly. Not yet. But the court hearing next week might change that. You see, I filed for full custody, on the grounds that you're mentally unstable and under investigation for attempted murder. Addis' voice broke. You can't do this to me. Oh, I already have, he said coldly. And guess who's representing me? Lara's lawyer. Lara's lawyer. She's missing. He paused, voice turning dark. Missing, yes, but not gone. She left something behind for me. A video confession. Addis' blood ran cold. You're lying. Am I? The video clearly shows you threatening her with the gun before it went off. You're finished, Addis. She could barely speak. You doctored that footage. Tom chuckled. Believe what you want. Just remember, truth is what people choose to believe. He hung up. Over the next few days, everything spiraled. A blogger posted headlines claiming Addis staged a fraud scandal to destroy her husband's business after he caught her cheating. Another article showed screenshots of fake text, conversations she never had, painting her as a jealous, vengeful woman. Her phone buzzed non-stop with messages, insults, threats, pity. Her mother called in tears. Addis, the neighbors are talking. They are saying you tried to shoot your husband. Mama, it's not true. I know, but people don't care what's true. They care what sounds dramatic. Addis' voice broke. He's controlling the narrative, Mama. Just like he controlled me. One night, as she scrolled through her emails, something caught her eye, a message from a private address. Subject, I know where Laura is. If you want the truth, come alone. Tomorrow. 8 p.m., Elegushi Beach. Her heart pounded. She forwarded the message to Kemi immediately. Kemi called. You can't go alone, Addis. This could be a trap. It probably is, Addis said softly. But I need answers. If Lara's alive, she can clear my name. Kemi hesitated. Then I'm going with you. No, Addis replied. If something happens to me, you release the remaining files to the press. Promise me that. Kemi's voice cracked. Addis. Promise me. After a long pause, Kemi whispered, I promise. The next evening, the beach was quiet except for the crash of waves and the hum of night insects. Addis stood under the dim glow of a street lamp, her heart hammering. A figure approached slowly from the shadows, a woman in a hooded jacket. Lara. Addis whispered. The figure stopped. Then, as she lifted her head, the hood fell back, and Addis' eyes widened in shock. It wasn't Lara. It was someone she never expected to see again. The echo of the courtroom gavel still rang in Amara's ears as she stepped out into the scorching Lagos sun. Her heart pounded, not from defeat, but from the shock of what had just unfolded. The judge had ruled that all shared assets be temporarily frozen pending investigation into financial fraud, something Chike never saw coming. And worst of all for him, the judge also ordered him to surrender his passport. Chike's eyes had burned holes through her as he stormed out of the courtroom. "You did this, Amara," he spat, his voice thick with rage. "You've destroyed me." But Amara didn't flinch. "No, Chike," she said quietly. "You destroyed yourself when you chose her." Aisha had been there too, dressed in all white, feigning innocence. But the cracks were beginning to show, her own lies were unraveling. The court had discovered that she forged financial documents to implicate Amara during their marriage dissolution. Suddenly, the perfect mistress was no longer untouchable. Outside, Amara's lawyer, Mr. Adeyemi, handed her a file. "You played your part perfectly. But this is far from over. He's desperate now, and desperate men are dangerous." That night, the city felt heavier. The streetlights flickered outside Amara's gated compound in Lekki. Inside, she tucked her children into bed, humming a lullaby she barely remembered from her childhood. Just as she was about to switch off the light, her phone vibrated. "Unknown number, you think you've won, but I know what you did. Meet me tomorrow. Alone." Her blood ran cold. The message was unsigned, but she knew the tone. It was Aisha. The next morning, Amara drove to a quiet spot near Elegushi Beach. The ocean stretched endlessly before her, grey and restless. Aisha was already there, leaning on her car, wearing oversized sunglasses and a bitter smile. "You look good for someone who just ruined a man's life," Aisha said. "I didn't ruin him, Aisha. I just stopped him from ruining me completely." Aisha laughed softly, her tone chilling. "You really think you've won? You don't know the half of it. That financial fraud case. He didn't do it alone. You're tied to it, too. Remember that joint account?" Amara's pulse quickened. "What are you talking about?" Aisha stepped closer, her perfume sharp and intoxicating. "You think I came into his life by accident? I was planted. Everything that happened, your humiliation, his downfall, it was all part of something bigger. And you just played your role perfectly." Amara stared at her, stunned. "Planted? By who?" Aisha smirked. "Ask yourself why his business rivals suddenly became your enemies too. You were a convenient pawn in a game you didn't even understand." Before Amara could respond, Aisha's phone rang. She glanced at the screen, then smiled. "Showtime," she whispered, turning away. Moments later, two men in dark suits approached from a nearby car. Amara's instinct screamed danger. She bolted toward her car, fumbling for her keys as Aisha's laughter echoed behind her. She sped off, tires screeching against the pavement. Her hands trembled on the steering wheel as she dialed her lawyer. "Adeyemi, something's wrong. They are setting me up again." "Calm down, Amara," he said, his voice steady. "Where are you?" "Near the beach." Aisha was there. She said. The line suddenly went dead. A black SUV appeared in her rearview mirror, speeding up behind her. Panic surged through her chest. She turned sharply into a side street, praying she could lose them. Her phone buzzed again, a new message popped up on the screen. "Unknown number, you can't hide the truth forever." Her mind raced. What truth? What were they really after? When she finally reached her home, she found the gate wide open. Her heart dropped. The security guard was gone. Inside, drawers were ransacked, papers scattered, and her children's room door slightly ajar. She rushed in, empty. Her knees buckled. "No, no, please." Then her phone rang again. A familiar voice, calm and cruel, came through the line. "Now you understand, Amara," Chike said. You took everything from me. Now I take everything from you. Her world tilted. Chike, where are my children? He chuckled darkly. Safe. For now. You wanted revenge. Let's see how it feels when the person you love most is used as leverage. Amara's scream filled the empty house, echoing off the walls. The line went dead. Her body trembled as she sank to the floor, tears streaming down her face. Every lie, every betrayal, every revenge move, it had led to this moment. She had become trapped in the same web she tried to untangle. But deep down, beneath the grief, something else began to burn, a cold, focused fury. He wanted war. She would give him one. She rose slowly, wiping her tears. You want to play dirty, Chike? Let's see who survives the fallout. As she turned toward her window, the sun was setting over Lagos, painting the sky in blood-red hues. The city hummed with life, unaware that somewhere in the heart of it, a mother's vengeance was being reborn. Cliffhanger, the screen of her phone lit up again, this time with a video message. She hesitated, then pressed play. The sight froze her blood, her children, blindfolded, sitting in the back of a moving car. Mommy, her son's trembling voice whispered in the video. Please find us. The night had never felt so long. The city of Lagos buzzed outside, cars honking, generators humming, yet inside Amara's home, silence reigned. Her eyes were red, her hands trembling as she stared at the frozen image of her blindfolded children on her phone screen. Every motherly instinct in her screamed for action, but her mind, sharp from pain and fury, forced her to think strategically. Chike had crossed every line. And Aisha, the woman who had demolished her marriage with one fatal lie, had now taken it too far. Amara called Mr. Adeyemi, her lawyer, who immediately looped in a trusted police detective, Inspector Damalola. We'll track the car, Damalola said, his tone calm but urgent. Send me the video metadata. Don't act alone, Amara. But Amara's voice was low, steady, dangerous. Inspector, I'm not waiting for anyone. If my children get hurt, I won't need the law, I'll become it. She changed into dark jeans and a plain hoodie, tying her braids back tight. On her way out, she grabbed the small pistol her late father had once kept for emergencies. The weight of it felt heavy, but so did the weight of everything she'd lost. Hours later, her phone buzzed with a GPS ping from Damalola. The car's last known location was near Ikeja, he said. An abandoned warehouse by the old bus depot. Amara drove like a storm through the night, headlights slicing through the darkness. Her breath came fast, but her hands were steady now. Revenge had burned away fear. When she reached the warehouse, the place was quiet, too quiet. Rusted metal gates hung loose, the air thick with the smell of oil and damp concrete. She crept in, heart pounding, the dim light from her phone guiding her steps. Then she heard it, a soft whimper. Her daughter's voice. Amara followed the sound and froze. In the center of the room, her two children sat tied to chairs, their faces pale with fear. Standing behind them was Aisha, holding a gun. Well, Aisha purred, her voice smooth and venomous. The perfect wife turned avenger. Took you long enough. Aisha, Amara said, keeping her tone calm as she took a step forward. Let them go. They have nothing to do with this. Aisha tilted her head, smiling bitterly. Oh, but they do. You built your identity around being a mother, a wife, a victim. I want to watch you lose all of it, just like I did. Amara frowned. You did this for revenge. What did I ever do to you? Aisha's eyes glistened, her mask cracking for the first time. You took the life I was promised. Chike was supposed to be mine years ago, but you got there first. When he came back into my life, I made sure you'd pay, and you did. You lost him, your peace, your reputation. But he betrayed me too. Now, we both lose everything. Before Amara could respond, another voice echoed through the warehouse. Put the gun down, Aisha. It was Chike. He stepped into the light, his suit disheveled, his eyes wild. You've gone too far, he said. You were supposed to scare her, not. Aisha spun toward him, laughing hysterically. Scare her. You destroyed both of us, Chike. You lied to me, used me, and now you want to play hero. Amara seized the moment. In one swift move, she lunged forward, kicking the gun from Aisha's hand. It clattered to the floor as the two women struggled, each one fueled by rage and heartbreak. Chike moved toward the children, trying to untie them, but Amara's son shouted, Daddy, look out. Aisha had grabbed a shard of broken glass, lunging toward him. The motion was so fast, so sudden, but a loud bang tore through the air. Amara stood frozen, her pistol smoking. Aisha staggered backward, clutching her side, her eyes wide with shock. She crumpled to the ground, whispering, he was never worth it. Chike looked at Amara, a mix of horror and realization in his eyes. You didn't have to do that. Amara's voice broke. She took our children. She was ready to kill us all. Sirens wailed in the distance as Inspector Damilola and his team arrived. They rushed in, securing the scene, tending to the children, and taking Aisha's limp body away. Chike stood off to the side, silent. For once, the man who'd controlled every situation had nothing to say. Later, at the police station, Damilola placed a hand on Amara's shoulder. You saved your children. The case will go in your favor, the recordings, the messages, everything points to self-defense. But Amara wasn't listening. She was staring at Chike through the glass partition. He was sitting in an interrogation room, hands clasped, eyes hollow. He looked up, meeting her gaze. For a moment, there was no anger, only exhaustion and regret. Amara turned away. He's not my problem anymore, she whispered. Some things aren't worth saving. Weeks later, Amara stood on the balcony of her new apartment overlooking the Lagos Lagoon. The sun was setting, casting golden light over the water. Her children played behind her, their laughter healing what pain couldn't. She opened her laptop to finish a message to her lawyer, a petition for full custody. But before hitting send, she paused, smiling faintly. Her life had been shattered, bound, rebuilt, but she had risen stronger. Betrayal had scarred her, yes, but it had also taught her something powerful. Peace wasn't found in revenge. It was found in walking away. As she watched the skyline shimmer, she whispered, "We are free now." Then her phone buzzed, a new message from an unknown number. Did you really think it ended with Aisha? Her smile faded. The camera panned out as the city lights flickered alive, a silent promise that some stories never truly end. If you were Amara, would you forgive or fight back? Comment your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more unforgettable African marriage drama stories, only on Kismat's Mythic Tales.